I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, August the 16th, where on Wednesday there we were just trying to balance out the Wednesdays, because if you remember a week ago on Wednesday, it was a horrible day with the feeder board down the limit and guys puking fats up a lot lower than everybody thought, and packers actually surprised that they got cattle bought and that many of them that much lower. And your cash feeder market, your sale barns, were sharply lower from $5 to $8 lower. So in turn, this Wednesday we got to see a little bit of recovery from that, and not really a recovery for this week, but just a recovery from last Wednesday's individual day of marketing, and so now everything's pretty much back to normal now, because our early week sales this week had their big losses, which caught them up with the late week sales, and now our Wednesdays have actually propped up a little bit, and everybody's kind of on an even keel. You look at the board on Wednesday, live cattle futures October was down 72 cents to end the day at 108.32. August spot live cattle at 109.47. Your feeder cattle futures, the August was down 310 after being up about that much on Tuesday, but they just take it right back away. But August ended the day on Wednesday at 142.25. Fat cattle, we have not established a market yet. No sales really to speak of on Wednesday. Your Fed Cattle Exchange offered not quite 1,200 head, had no sales on there. We had these guys and have had them Monday and Tuesday. They probably did a little bit more of it Wednesday, but we had some of these guys in the northern plains, mostly in Iowa, just puking cattle at $110 and dressed from 175 to 178. Well, why would your packers want to give the market for cattle for guys that know what's going on and are trying to trade? They're just going to keep holding out and keep trying to steal these things. They'll have to buy some cattle, and they'll give more than this 110 for cattle, unless the board just completely falls out of bed here later on in the week. But they're not going to come out in the middle of the week and give a decent price for cattle, as long as they can get some that far under the market in little pockets. But so we haven't established a market yet. It could be a late Friday trade, because we just haven't seen anybody giving in. Your big commercial guys in Kansas, Texas Panhandle, Nebraska, places like that, they're not just going to give away their cattle like that. They're going to try hard to keep as much market position as they can. They may have to take less, likely 112 or 13 for cattle, but they're not just going to plumb give up and puke them at $110. But your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on Beef Market Central, based on an 800-pound steer, late Wednesday set at 142.49, up 77 cents. And like I said, most of your Wednesday sales were a touch better than they were last week or last Wednesday, and that's how they tell. It's not compared to earlier this week, but last Wednesday. And because they were just so sharply lower last Wednesday, so now they've gotten back up, and we've pretty much made the circle where everybody's about on the same page. OKC West for the 2-day sale, pretty light run, 4,300 head, especially for them. Didn't have quite 3,000 head of yearlings on Wednesday. Their feeders were quoted $2 to $4 higher. If you look at the automated report on Beef Market Central, you see that most of your popular weights of feeders, and notice that they don't sell hardly any calves, and we're just looking at the steers here, but they don't sell hardly any calves at all, unless it's just kind of a mess up deal on Wednesday. They sold all those on Tuesday. So your popular weights of feeders there, $2 to $4 higher, and it's kind of got everybody back to normal. Dodge City, Kansas had just a light run, 1,100 head on Wednesday at Winter Livestock. Their market was kind of unevenly steady, but about the best yearling sale I saw around on Wednesday was at Winter Livestock in Dodge City, Kansas on Wednesday at 12:20 in the afternoon. They sold 62 head of steers, weighed 863 at 146.50. And then a market that we don't talk about very often, but had had a big sale on Wednesday, and here comes some calves. You look at Northern Arkansas Livestock in Green Forest, Arkansas. At 1:20 in the afternoon, had 73 head of steer calves, weighed 623 at 153.10. That's your feeder flash for Thursday.